Hello, everyone. I'm Phil Corbett with AMP Analytic Marketing Partners, and I'm accompanied by my colleague Beth Godwin, who runs the marketing for this great little company that we have, and one of our best partners ever, Maribeth Jenkins with Sabal Group. How you doing, Maribeth?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. I know you've. How long have you been working with AMP? How long have you been one of our
A little
partners?
like 3 years, I'd say.
And it's been a marvelous 3 years, right?
It has. It's,
That's right.
it absolutely has.
It's
Yep.
awesome. Well,
Great
yeah.
partnership.
Yeah, I know you've been keeping us busy for 3 years, which is great, and more so more lately than ever. So that's a fantastic thing. So let's talk about senior living. But before we get into all the ins and outs of what that's all about, tell us a little bit about Sable, about yourself, and give us some background there if you don't mind.
Sure. I have been working in senior living since the late 1990s. I started with a consulting firm in my hometown. I'm from Gastonia, North Carolina, which is near Charlotte. And there just happened to be a hub of senior living consultants in our area. And I went to work for one of them after I got my master's and didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, and started doing market research, marketing planning, and our core competency was nonprofit retirement communities that had a full continuum of care. So you could go in healthy and they would take care of you forever. And spent about 10 years there, and then started my own little small business marketing agency, but continued to work in senior living. And then about 10 years ago, started working really focusing on direct marketing. So that's where I really learned data, all the direct marketing channels, but all focused again on growing the senior living industry. And with Sabal Group, starting about 3.5 years ago, I really wanted to focus on finding the very best prospect. It's a huge decision for a family. It's one of the last big decisions that the person will make, and really one of the biggest financially. It can cost much more than a home. And so finding the right people based on the organization and what they offer is critical. It helps the organization, it helps the potential resident. And so I just wanted to find the best partners, truthfully, like AMP, that could help me in that task. And I think we've done it.
That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
mean, I think. Okay, go ahead, Beth.
Yeah, I was just say it's exciting to see all that you get to do and be a part of with those communities. And as you said, like I think it's really important that you help people find the right person.
Mhm.
How do you see data playing a role in that?
Oh, I think data is the role in that, frankly, because every community has a different personality. They have a different contract. It's a really complicated industry, honestly, with what's included with your contract, what's not, where you pay as you go. Life plan or life care is where basically you pay and your monthly rate stays the same from independent living all the way through skilled nursing, but there are fee for service contracts. And then, frankly, who is the sponsor? What town is it in? How knowledgeable are those people about senior living opportunities? So there are many different nuances. And to me, the beauty, and obviously, there are data scientists everywhere, but what I have truly loved since day one with AMP is it's kind of like, if I dream it, you'll build it. And I feel like we really took a product you guys have perfected for different industries and helped me apply it to senior living, which I don't think had been a true core competency vertical for AMP previously. I know you had done a little bit, but I think together we have made that product what it needs to be for this industry. And I think I feel like we get better every one we do, because maybe my client asks a question or I ask a question, can we do that? And every time your team says yes. So that's what I think is the most exciting, because once we know the nuances of that organization and can apply that to who we market to for them, we're, as we say, getting rid of the noise, fishing in a barrel instead of a lake. It's just an ideal thing. And when when you're not selling a widget, when you're not selling, you know, a Coca-Cola or a car or even a house, because these are $1 million transactions over the life of the transaction. Finding that prospect and finding a better one and helping these nonprofit organizations narrow down their audience, I think is a gift.
Yeah, are your clients seeing that? I mean, I think everyone I talk to, most people I talk to, know the value, or they say they know the value of data and analytics, right? That they know it's important. Whether they use it or not, it's another story, but they know it's important. But are your clients seeing the benefit? Like they're saying, "Wow, this is so much better than what we had before," or
Yes,
yeah,
I think um, so. My clients are so busy. They are charged with marketing and sales in their communities. And so this is one tiny part of what they do all day. And that's what I try to remember when I get all excited and want to explain every nuance, that they don't necessarily care. They want to know that it works. They want to know that it is going to help them in their marketing efforts. They love the report we provide. They love how thoughtful and concise and interesting. They love understanding the behaviors and lifestyles. It's nothing they've ever seen before for their community. So um, yes, it presents very well. I think it varies how strategically they use it throughout the year, simply because if I give them a list to use for a year or for a campaign, sometimes I'm not involved. Sometimes I'm providing it to an agency partner or to a corporate marketing person. And I don't always even know what happens. I just know that they renew a year later and they tell me, let's do it again. So it kind of varies how involved I am with understanding what's happening with the campaign and how successful it's been. Also, it's a very long sale. Again, you're not saying, I would like, that pink shirt and I'm going to pay you $20. It's a huge decision for people. So I believe our job is that top of funnel lead generation, bringing in the right people for that sales team to nurture, work through the process and make certain ultimately it's a good fit. It's about timing, it's about finances, it's about if they feel comfortable there, if their family supports it. But our job is to find the right people, as many of those right people, and get rid of as much of the waste they're spending on their marketing dollars so that they can be better stewards, of that money for their residents, for their organization, for their sponsor, all around.
Yeah, that's great. When What do you think for your clients are the biggest obstacles in helping them find those right leads? And like how do you help them get the right leads into the funnel? Because we know that's so important.
So the different CRMs that they use have different capabilities, exports. Some are very difficult to work with. There's a garbage in, garbage out theory. So if they haven't put good information into the CRM, or if they change CRMs and it's harder for us to find, for example, where their residents lived previously, because obviously we know a good postal address is a starting point for all of the information. So what they have varies, also how much they have. With my clients, you guys are used to working in industries where there might be hundreds of thousands of leads to analyze or hundreds of thousands of customers to analyze. I'm happy if I have 150 residents who have moved in over the past few years that we can model and look at, just simply because the economies of scale are so different, and these communities, their market areas are so tight that we're typically modeling each location, even if we're working with a sponsor or organization that has multiple communities. Their models look different based on which town, those personalities, who's been attracted to that community. So I think it's very different all around than a lot even of what AMP had been working with before.
yeah. I mean, you said that's like each um each location has its own personality. I've actually living through this right now with my in-laws, right? And I've lived through it with my parents who are no longer alive, but they went through it also. My in-laws were down here for my daughter's graduation, by the way, a couple days ago, and they went to forget the name of it. It's at Verde. It's one of the
Um,
facilities at Verde
starts with
at the
C.
plantation.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But
Cascade.
the only reason why was
Cascade.
that Cascade. Yes, that's it. That's it. Right. Exactly. See, we didn't know. I did not know you knew that. This is not planned.
No, it wasn't planned.
Wasn't planned.
It took me a minute, but yes, I am familiar.
But to your point, like so they've looked at they're in Connecticut, we're in Greenville, South Carolina. They've looked at places in Connecticut. They've looked at one place that's actually one of your clients, another one. Um, but Verde, you know, they're impressed by so many different things, and it's like so idiosyncratic, right? It's like just for them. It's like fits their personality. And also it's like, the person that took them around was very knowledgeable, everyone was very nice, and I mean, there could be one thing that anyone could be turned off by. Like they didn't like the way, the dining looked like or whatever. It could be anything, right? So it's just so very particular, and I think that's what I'm driving at. Is I think that getting these lifestyle behaviors and other kinds of data that we can append and add on really help kind of you know shorten that universe or make that universe a lot smaller, really, for targeted marketing. I have one other question though, but this is a little more. I don't know. I don't know. This is kind of. I don't know if this is a good question to ask or not, but like, are long. So they have long-term care insurance,
Hmm.
right? And I think that in some aspects that appears to be very appealing to the communities, and they picked up on that. Like I don't think anyone ever said, "Hey, do you have long-term care insurance?" And then like salivating because they do or not. I'm not saying that, but is that an aspect of the marketing that your communities do? They look for that,
It
or
depends
no,
again
or
on the contract. There's so many nuances, but some find it very attractive because they know they can apply that when they get to certain levels. It helps them to qualify more easily. They know they have that to use at whatever point. I mean, I have clients that target by people with long-term care insurance. So absolutely, or people who have a propensity or have shown interest because that planner is the same planner who will consider their future and might be more likely to move into a continuing care retirement community.
okay, yeah, yeah, that's them. They're always planning well ahead. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. One last. So what about adult? Another thing I was always kind of interested in. So they don't have an adult child living in the household, right? Because my wife is not in their household, thankfully. Um, but is that another? Well, and they are no longer in my household after this weekend,
There
thankfully.
you go. Even better,
I mean,
right?
no, they're lovely people. They're great
I
people.
get it. I get it.
They are. I'm sure they're glad to be away from me too. Um, but anyway, I mean, is that how big is that play? And targeting, or does it
We
at all? I mean,
Yeah,
I
we,
think it
we
does.
call them we call them the elusive adult child, and I think it's a huge play. If we could ever figure out how to model adult children, we could all retire probably tomorrow on the private island, with the private jet. No, it's a big deal. It's a huge deal for my clients who have higher levels of care or they're marketing higher levels of care. But frankly, the adult child influences in a good relationship almost every decision. They need to at least bless the decision because what in many cases the parent is doing is investing in their peace of mind and their long-term health that in theory could be taken away from an inheritance. What they're really doing is making that adult child's life so much easier in terms of the worry and the care and the not knowing what's going on. So no, I mean, I think I've been asked about adult children since I started direct marketing. And there are different ways kind of to skin it, if you will. There are some specialty ways to go, but they're very, very limited. And to me, the best way is, to try to get a persona or an idea of who that ideal adult child is, and then focus on them digitally, because to me, direct mail is way too expensive for the maybe. I want to save direct mail for the very best modeled prospects in a scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. So Maribeth, what are you most proud of, and what do you get most excited about working in this industry and helping your clients?
I mean, I think I'm proud that I started Sabal. I think I'm proud that I created a process where I rely on other really smart people who make me look smarter. But no, I think it's the partnerships, it is the relationships with whether they're vendor partners, my clients who might be agencies or consultants or organizations. I think I'm just proud that I have a scenario where people are willing and want to engage again and again because they've had a good experience. And I'm very thankful. I'm only as good as partners like AMP, and that's the truth. I mean, I cannot do it. I cannot do what you do. I can find the people who need it. I can put the programs together, but I cannot do the magic. And so that's what I'm most proud of and thankful for. And did you say what do I love also, or was that?
Yeah, what do you get excited about?
I mean, I just love that I get to do this every day. I love the flexibility. I love, that I can work from a computer or a telephone or a combination of both. And I love that I'm making a difference and helping a small part of making a difference for my clients and hopefully at the end of the day, even though I'm not directly interacting with the residents, by making better matches, we are actually AMP and Sabal helping put people where they need to be by creating awareness and educating them on places that can provide a great quality of life, take care of them, give peace of mind to their family, and that should be a better fit for them based on what we found out in the analyses that we've done.
I think that's a great place to leave it right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost tearing up a little bit.
Thank you for joining us on this interview with Maribeth Jenkins. If you would like to know more about the Sabal Group and how they can help you find the right resident for your senior living community, check out their website at sabal-group.com.